Welcome food travelers to an episode here in Hong Kong. In this episode, I meet up with a friend in Yuen Long, which is located close to the border of Hong Kong and Shenzhen. We started off getting some dessert at a local spot where I got this ginger milk custard to cool myself off because it was so dang hot and humid down there. This is the ginger milk custard. It's like pudding that requires no eggs, gelatin, or cornstarch. It's purely just through the high-speed chemical reaction between ginger and milk. So when the hot milk slams into the bowl of ginger juice, it has to be fresh ginger juice too. Then there's some chemicals in there and it becomes this smooth gel texture so it's pretty good. And then after that, we headed off on this trip to this fishing village. And as you see in the video here, I'm walking through the village and I'm going to go watch some birds, as that was one of my friends that I met up with. It was his hobby and he wanted to show me around. And in this bird watching, it's actually very interesting. There's a lot of birds that you never see here in the US. Like for example, there's like the black kite, there's like the black-faced spoonbill, there's a lot of eastern imperial eagles, and in this area is kind of like a area where birds migrate during the different seasons of time.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because, Micah, the first time we went, or at least I went to Hong Kong with you, it was like, other than the mountainside that we went to go up and hike, it didn't really feel like there's any countryside, and it's all urban, and so it feels kind of strange that it's kind of a countryside vibe compared to kind of what you always see and hear every time about Hong Kong and how urban and how dense everything is.
Yeah, definitely. It was a different experience this time, seeing like the countryside and everything. But after watching some birds and walking around, we headed back to Yulon Station, where we took a taxi down to Sham Tseng area, which was about a 15 to 20 minute taxi ride. We went to the famous Yue Kee roast goose restaurant, and they are open daily from 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. And this is a super famous roast goose spot. It's considered the original and one of the last few places that still uses the traditional charcoal fired ovens. And of course, the signature dish is the roast goose. It's known for the crispy, glass-like skin, succulent meat with the smoky aroma, with the charcoal roasting. And they are a recognized Michelin bib gourmet for many, many years. And the restaurant was originally founded in 1958, and it's been around for such a long time. A lot of locals love this place. Simon, do you remember eating some roast goose when you came to Hong Kong?
Yeah, that's one of my nice food memories when we went to Hong Kong, or when I was there with you, visiting the Hong Kong roasted goose. It was really delicious. I know we went to a really famous spot, and I'm not sure if this was the same place, but at least the place that we went to, I just remember taking that first bite, and it kind of just hits you, and how delicious it is. The crispiness of the skin, it actually hit the tongue, and it just felt like it just disappeared and just melted in your mouth. You have this delicious, savory flavor just sitting there on your tongue, and then as you eat the goose meat itself, and it's succulent and very, very delicious. And I can see why there were so many people who were there to get that goose, and why there's so many people like eating roast goose.
Yeah, so it's actually a different restaurant that we went to, but it's also very popular. Not quite as popular as this one. Unfortunately, when we went last time, we didn't have as much time to come all the way out here because this is actually really far away. It's not close by any train stations. You kind of need to know your way around to get here, either by bus or by taxi. Luckily, I was with my friend who's a local, and it was a lot easier to navigate together to this restaurant. As you saw earlier in the video, I was pouring tea into a mug or a bowl, and I was disinfecting the bowls and everything. It's kind of like a tradition in Hong Kong, in a sense, where you're pouring tea into the bowls to clean the dishware before use, to kind of sanitize the equipment. But through the years, Hong Kong has gotten really good with health codes, and it's not really necessary, but it's still something that is well practiced nowadays. But starting off with the meal here, I got a soup. It's a fish mouth soup, or in Cantonese it's called fa gao. It's kind of the fish mouth is the dried swim bladders of like large fish such as sturgeons, and it's mostly flavorless, but it absorbs the flavor of the soup and the stew, so it becomes kind of spongy and soft. And in Chinese, they say the health benefits of it is kind of high in collagen and low in fat, and is believed to be good for nourishing your skin and lungs. Have you ever tried that, Simon?
I don't know specifically that soup, but I've had stuff that's always similar. And of course, with so many foods from Asia, there's usually some kind of story that goes with some kind of health benefit with it. Whether it's true or not that they have that much benefits from it, you kind of just go with it. And especially if it tastes good, of course, then you just continue to eat it.
Yeah, so of course here in the video you see is the roast goose. Oftentimes they do come with like the plum sauce to dip into, and it kind of just cuts down on the fat and everything. In a way, I would like to say the roast goose is kind of similar to like maybe brisket because it's so fatty. There's so much you don't want to eat a goose where it's just lean meat because then it just doesn't taste very good.
Yeah, I can see where you're kind of going with that. You know, it is definitely fatty, and so you can't have just constant bites without kind of changing up the palate within your mouth, and kind of like when you're eating sushi and then you have the ginger slices in between to kind of reset your palate to eat it. If you kind of keep going, then you'll start to kind of get hit with the savoriness and the fattiness of the goose, and then you won't quite enjoy it as much, and it'll kind of feel a little overwhelming with each bite after that if you kind of don't take that little break to kind of give your taste buds a little break to kind of switch up a little bit.
Yeah, so oftentimes is when people get roast goose, they'll get like a bowl of rice or sometimes thick rice noodles just to cut out or balance out all the fattiness from the roast goose itself. So one of the veggies that we got here is a garlic Chinese kale or Chinese broccoli is what they call it. It's stir fry with minced garlic. It's thick, it's crunchy stems and dark greens, slightly waxy leaves. Has like this deep, earthy, slightly bitter flavor profile to it. I think it's great with the roast goose or pork belly in general. It just kind of balances everything out. Some people would say that it's a little bit too oily for that type of dish, but I think anything with a lot of oil usually tastes really good.
It's a pretty common dish, I believe. I don't know if I'm one of the few, but generally I'm a person who likes to eat the stem. I like the whole thing, but I generally get the stems, and at least within my family, it seems like most of them like the leaf, and so I kind of leave it all to them, and I'm the person who kind of fishes up the stem, and pretty much I get my choice of what I want to eat from the stems because I'm probably one of the few that actually like to eat that part or prefer that part over the leaf section.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Simon. I love the stem too because it has this really nice, refreshing chewiness to it, and it has that like kind of that crunch when you bite into it. So that's another reason why I really like that part. I think overall, like both the leaves and the stem is great together. But yeah, I really like that crunchiness that you get when you take a bite into it. But overall, I think this restaurant is a great one to visit if you are in the area in Hong Kong and you're looking for roast goose. It's definitely not that easy to find, but if you are able to come here and you do have the time to make that trip, I'll definitely recommend it as it's one of the most famous one in the area. So might as well go to the most famous one if you're looking for goose. And for this notable is the roast goose. This goose is special because it's cooked in a traditional charcoal oven, which makes the skin extra crunchy and it gives it a delicious smoky smell like campfire. The family owns a restaurant that uses a special type of geese to make sure the meat is super juicy and soft. People travel from all over the world to this one spot just to try a bite of what many call the best goose in Hong Kong.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.